Hi. In this session, we'll be looking after some basics of landscapes. So let's get started. So I have created a brand new level from here, and you can access the landscape from right or from the top. Use an option called landscape. There are two different type of landscapes which you can able to create in your viewport. So one through your procedural method, and another one through your height maps. So we'll be discussing both of them today. One with the regular method, and the one will be using your existing height maps to generate your landscapes. Very first, let's start with some basics of landscapes there. And here you can see, we have a small grid coming up. Now the grid can be increased and can be get like lower by the number of the components here. So the more components you have, the more bigger space we have. So you can just manage with that. And then, you'll be asking for a size, section size. And then, yeah, pretty much you can just leave the rest of the things to normal, and you can just check the size, by the increasing the number of components there. And increase the resolution overall. Maybe you start with 512 and then, then keep increasing as per your components. And one side, once it's done, sorry, you can use the word called create. Now the landscape is getting created. Now you see completely a blank, and you can see now the toolbar has been moved from manage to a sculpt node. So you can see you can start sculpting actually. As in our environment, we don't have any existing lights, so hence you're not able to see anything. So to do that, to make sure the object visible, there are two options. One is jump back to your selection, add some lights, or from the lit mode, change it to a flare collision. You can see it in unlit also. You can see that details actually there. Or if you want to be a little bit more detailed. Now, the reason why I'm saying go to the flare collision, there's an example. I'm adding some kind of sculpting on top of the surface. You can see it's added a sculpted, but you're not able to see how depth it was there. So hence I'm moving from unlit to a flare collision. Now you can see that the collision, the surface has been sculpted based on our brush movements actually. So we can just either use your lit mode, you do not see anything because we don't have a lights. Unlit mode, you see a surface, but you're not able to see your collision actually. The surface in a three-dimensional form, right? So hence we are using an option called flare collision for reference there. Now, these tools are very traditional tools actually. So where you can sculpt it, and then now you can see I'm using a basic first sculpt tool. I'm sculpting to the top. Now the same way, in case you want to push it towards the reverse direction, hold shift in a keyboard, and the same thing goes in a reverse direction. Can you see right now? It's been created a inverse of your selection, right? That's one thing you can do. And once you do, maybe that's an example. I'm just sculpting a bit more. Okay, that's fine. So maybe you want to create some, a RAM kind of a thing. So you can use a RAM, place your first point, place your last point, and hit enter in the keyboard. You'll be doing it. And then you can do specify the thickness of your RAM, and then set off fall off you want to maintain. And then once you do, just press enter. You can see this, the RAM created from the bottom to the top there. Now come back to the smooth again, or maybe a sculpt or the smooth. You can work with your brush sizes smaller and start sculpting to the corners. So try to start blending onto your the surface there. So maybe we can just do this same thing as soft, right? So that you don't see any hard and sharp edges on top of your surface there. And that's one thing. The next is we have some set of noise. So as maybe I'm just increasing the brush size a little bit bigger. So I'm just have some noise there. You can see interestingly the noise there. And before I add a noise, one more thing I just want to explain here is, you can see there's an option called edit layers right there. Right click on the layer and use a option called create a layer. So now I'm in layer 1 right now. I'm creating a noise. Now, why I did that, right? Now, let's an example. I don't want the noise to be there, so I can turn it off and on. Or maybe I want a certain portion of the noise should be visible, so I can just do that. Can you see right now? That's one more advantage, what you can see when you have sculpting under the layers. Means it try to start storing the sculpting data in a form of different layers actually there. If you don't want, you can just right click and then say clear. You'll be clearing that area. Or right click and then say it as deleted. So, so we have again layer one. So we have all our sculpting data inside it. Right. And then we have noise, we have sculpt, and now we have a smooth, we just saw right now. So like this, and then we have an option called erase also. Now, there are two things in this eraser and flatten. Let's take a look again. So I'm adding some sort of noise actually there, right? So now when I hit this flatten, what happens is it try to like, erasing it up, some sort of thing. But again, if you notice now, the surface is getting flat there, right? You can see like around, just bring this up, right? But whereas when you do an option called erase, it straight away clean up the unwanted things. Now can you see right now? Nicely it's been like, sculpting around, right? So that's one way you can able to create it. Once everything is done, that's pretty much like an example. Now you want to see with the lights how this particular model is going to look like. Now come back to your from landscape to, we'll be discussing in the paint in a different session. So now come back to landscape to selection right now. And from here, now you can add some directional light into the environment. Start with the lit mode. Now you can see the directional light has been added. And you can just move around your light by pressing Ctrl E, Ctrl L in a keyboard to change your light directions there. So that's it for now. In the next topic, we'll be talking about a landscape through your texture map, which is nothing but a height map. And next class, we'll be talking about using layer shaders also. Thanks for watching.